But we have to cut in regular programming to take you live to the Ministry of Communication, and it's for the Girls in ICT conference.
People are willing out there, but the knowledge, I think, is a problem in Ghana.
Auntie Priscilla, thank you so much. We'll be asking you more questions. Girls, are you ready to ask questions? So write down your questions if you have them. The moment we're done with our fourth speaker, we'll come and ask you a few questions. Auntie Priscilla, thank you. Now we've got Auntie Olivia Quote, and she says she believes in the fact that women can lead and still be very human. She believes that we do not have to compete. We just have to take our space by doing what we do and do it very well. Women of today have proven beyond doubt that they can hold it on their own. Girls, you believe women of today can hold it on their own? Do you believe women of today can make it? Auntie Olivia, looks like the girls really do agree with you. So let me ask you a question. By exploring a career in ICT, let's start off with your experience starting in this wonderful field. How did it start for you, and what have you learned so far? Auntie Olivia, over to you.
Good morning, Honorable Minister. Nime all protocol observed. And girls in ICT. Girls in ICT. Our girls are so quiet today. Okay, so I will not say that I started with ICT. I think I've worked with different companies, experienced finance, education, but through it all, you still have to understand the computer and its processes and still make sure that you know your way around it. So I can't say that I'm an ICT person, but now I find myself in an environment. We're more like the regulator. We regulate all communication systems in this country. But having 2 years ago was when I started working with NCA. And maybe I would share my experience as a woman working in the midst of men, because there's a director general, and then there are 3 deputy director generals, and I happen to be the female amongst them. So when my little intro actually tells me that it's a man's world. And our girls must get to realize that it's a man's world, but we also have a space. They can't do without us. We can compete because we also have the brains, and we must compete. Today, the Minister of Education is a woman. She's the first woman who's held the portfolio, and she's done that so admirably. She is an example of what women can do. So for me, as she sits there, as we also sit here, all you girls must realize that there is nothing that you cannot do. There is nothing that is impossible for you to do. Don't let anybody put a hindrance in your way and say that, way they want to mean. It is a no, 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 no. The world is very competitive, but it will take women who decide that we will take this competitive world and run with it and make sure that we'll also one day become ministers of education, presidents, vice presidents, chairpersons of great organizations. So I want to encourage you today. My example may not be that I have been a computer science person like Auntie Priscilla. So you have an example like
clap for technology.
The men do not want us to take their space, but we would have to make sure that we do everything, and everything means that we use this brain that we have. God has given us wonderful brains. Let nobody make you feel that you are inferior, you cannot do it. You can do it. You're as better as the men, sometimes even better than the men. I am sure when people will be truthful about this ministry, they will tell you that the Minister of Education sitting right in front of you, Mrs. Ekufu, has done more for this ministry than most of the men who came here. And that for me is an example that you should hold high and be proud of. Don't be afraid. Never be afraid. I sit with men and I'm not afraid because I know that God has given me something that he has given all of them, which is a brain. And so for that reason, if I have to say something, I say it. If they take it, fine. If they don't take it, I have still said it. So let your voice be heard. Girls, let your voices be heard and make sure that you are not intimidated by anybody. Don't be. Because the world is not waiting for people who are afraid. The world is waiting for people who are bold and people who can take decisions and people who can do things that other people say they can't do. So girls, you are lucky to be where you are today. Take every opportunity that comes your way. Read, learn from people. There is nothing wrong if you don't know something and you're asking somebody. That's what makes you a good person. What you don't know, ask somebody. What you know, share with somebody. I have said, women, what we need to do is pull one another up. Don't pull, let us just pull ourselves down. Let's hold our hands and pull ourselves together. That is what this ministry is doing for you, girls in ICT. The woman minister is pulling all of you behind her. Make it easy for her to do that. Please, you have what it takes. I wish you well. God bless you.
Auntie Olivia, another round of applause for Auntie Olivia. Auntie Olivia, you said Minister of Education. We like her in our communications, oh. She's our Minister of Communications. Everybody, she's what? Auntie Olivia, when you said it the first time, my heart, we want to keep her in communications, please.
Sorry. No,
don't worry at all.
Forgive me.
It is the beauty of your message that the girls understand. Ladies, did you understand Auntie Olivia? You are ready for your questions? Hey. Are you ready with your questions? Okay, wonderful. So now we have our third speaker. If Auntie Patricia isn't here yet, no problem, we can move on. We've got Madam Audrey Mreku, Auntie Audrey, for today, and she is a cyber security specialist. Ladies, you know what a cyber security specialist is? It's huge. Cyber security specialist. We want her to explain what that is, and she has 19 years of experience, and she has worked for the Central Bank, for the US Embassy, for Airtel Tigo, among so many, and now she's with the National Cyber Security Center, where she is the National Computer Emergency Response Team Lead. Hey, Auntie Audrey. Everybody say, hey, Auntie Audrey. Hey, Auntie Audrey. You are many wonderful things. You have to explain to us some more. And finally, of course, she is motivated by excellence. She's motivated by professionalism, ethical code of conduct, and passionate about mentoring these wonderful girls, our next generation. Auntie Audrey, wonderful to have you. Tell us about all these wonderful things that you made us say, hey, Auntie Audrey. How did you get to where you are today, Auntie Audrey?
Girls in ICT, good morning. For me, it is quite strange what I'm going to share with you today, and it's very exciting as well. How did I get up into this? How do I end up into this field? When I completed my O-levels, my father said, what do you want to do after school? I'm like, okay, I want to be a pilot. He says, you want to be a driver to move people around? I'm like, okay, no, I can't be a driver. I want to be a teacher. He says, yes, my uncle was a teacher, your mother is a teacher, and I'm a banker. It's either you do banking or teaching. So I applied at the university. My first choice was definitely teaching. When I got to the registrar's office, the lady looked at my results and she said, oh, you have very good results. You did well in science and English and maths, physical science and chemistry. Won't you try computer sciences? And said, what is it about? I sat down with her, she ran me through it. I'm like, make that my first choice. Got home, my father asked, how did it go? I said, it went very well, I'll be a teacher. I was accepted. Its acceptance letter said computer science student. I had to hide my acceptance letter from my father. Went on, schools resumed. I had to tell them because the classes were getting exciting. Each and every day I was learning new how computers work. Back then, that was the first time I actually saw a computer. It was at the university. Back then, computers were very scarce. We would only see computers when we visit big offices. Even then, there were huge computers. I knew I wanted to be part of that. So I hid that bit to my father. Later on, it got too exciting what we were learning, computing, programming, scripting. One of the days I decided to let it out. I told him, Daddy, I'm doing computer science. The teaching wasn't interesting or challenging enough for me. To my surprise, he was so excited. He started buying books for me to support me. And he got to know other people who were in the industry, and he hooked me up. What helped me the most was I had people that were actually helping me out, mentoring me, what to look out for. He hooked me up with other programmers and network engineers. When the time came for me to do my internship, I knew where I wanted to go. There was an internet service provider that had just been launched, first of its kind. I said, that's where I want to work. Went there, I put in my application. They said, oh, your application has to come through your school. I went to my teacher and I told them, they said, you have to write a recommendation for me to get a position there. That's where I want to work. He went there with me, sat there, and we had a discussion. It was a brief interview, and they took me in. Did my internship there, I had to go back to school. I was so excited. They were doing web design. I did my first website. Went back to school and I told my head lecturer that I want to design the website for our school. She says, we have not taught you that. How are you going to learn that? Where I did my internship, that's what they do. Apart from getting people onto the internet, they also do services for the internet. He says, one of my lectures, can you tell the class what you've learned? I said, yes, it's in my report. I can actually show you some of the websites that I have done. That was it for me. That is how it took off. I didn't even have to wait until I completed my computer science diploma. Africa Online started calling me. Oh, are you free on weekends? We need an extra hand. Of course, I will have free access to the internet. I'm very much available. I'll be able to do my work and I'll be typing on a computer this time around. Because back in school, we'd only get onto the computer lab when the lecturer was there. Otherwise, everything else was taught on the blackboard. So now I'll have a computer every weekend. I was readily available. I went there, I started my work. Weekends, I'd even take some of my friends' work and do research for them, because when I got there, they taught me how to use the internet and how to search. So I'd even go back to my lecturers when they submit work to be done. Who would do this topic? I would pick the wildest of them all that I did not know anything about it, because I knew then I was using Yahoo to search. Then after Yahoo, I got to know of Google. There was nothing I would go out and say I don't know. Even today, if I am to do any presentation or I have to learn anything, cooking a prapansa, I know that the internet is there for me. I just go to the internet and I learn. But this particular time around, where more and more people are on the internet, and it's not only good people who are out there. I'm very careful. I tried to do a groundnut soup the other day. My first groundnut soup, I prepared it tasted very nice. But whoa, my children, they decided they would not eat groundnut soup again because of the traffic. Something was happening to our stomachs. So the internet is good, and there's good information out there. And also, because it's open to everyone and anyone can put information out there, I am very careful. And I urge you today, as you use your ICT tools, especially the internet, be very careful. If it is strange to you, assign danger to it. That's all from me for now.
All right. Girls, you're going to have to pardon me once again. Remember, don't do what Auntie Anita is doing. I'm just going to remove my mask. So thank you very much, Auntie Audrey. Thank you very much to Auntie Olivia. Thank you very much to Auntie Priscilla. And we lost Auntie Patience, but I'm told she'll come later. I'm holding this microphone because we're live on Joy News so that the rest of the country can hear us. Ladies, girls in ICT. And that is what is happening here, of course, under the auspices of the Minister of Communications, who is here live as well. And ladies, do you have questions for any one of our three aunties? Who wants to ask a question? Remember what I told you. If you don't come to me, I'll do what? That part you have lowered your voice. Where's my first question coming from? If you are here, stand right next to me. Good. Come, my dear. Remember to mention your name, your school, and then ask the question. I'll step aside from you. Social distance.
My name is Priscilla, and I would like to ask that Auntie Priscilla, I know there's challenges in everything. So I would like to ask you that since you started that work, what are the challenges and how did you overcome the challenges?
Beautiful question. Auntie Priscilla, since you started, how did you overcome? Please go ahead.
Is it Priscilla? Hello, Priscilla.
Yes.
I love your smartness. Yes, I face challenges. It's a man's world. It's been a man's world previously. It's not changed. So at the workplace, most of the time, they give the hard work in quotes to men. So to prove that I'm capable, I always had to put in extra effort to make sure I'll be seen as competent. Because when you get to the workplace and they see you are a woman, most of the time at meeting, they will ask you to be serving the tea, to be taking the minutes, that kind of stuff. But when you prove to them that you are capable, and sometimes more capable than the men, they will give you the hard work, the technical work. So I always encourage young women, especially those that are doing national service. I don't like the attitude where always when you are assigned work, you look to the men to do it. Go forward. Sometimes be proactive. Ask for the work yourself. When you are not even given it, do it so that you'll be seen as competent, not just a beauty face. Thank you.
Auntie Priscilla, thank you. Second question. Yes, my dear, come. Come to me. Stand 1 meter apart from me and ask the question. Remember your name, your school. Talk to this camera for me.
My name is Boama Lucy. I attend KTDA Primary at Karachi. When our madam was talking, she said that...
Which one? Which auntie? Was it Auntie Priscilla, Auntie Olivia, Auntie Audrey? Okay, you don't remember. Continue. It's the question that is important.
She
Go
said
ahead.
that the internet is good, but the
Auntie
internet can bring teenage pregnancy. Yes, because the internet, you can use it to search videos. And some of the students, when they go to the internet, they'll go and watch something sexy.
Oh, today she's being bold. She wants to talk. Go ahead.
And
so what's your question, my dear?
And they will feel to do that.
Of course.
So it can bring teenage pregnancy. So the internet is somehow good, somehow bad. So we should be careful.
Okay. So I guess, you see, I told the girls today they should be bold, and that is where the question comes from. So Auntie Audrey, you said the internet is good. Maybe mention 1 or 2 things that can help us prevent ourselves from getting in trouble with the internet. I think that's the question you want to ask. How do we avoid getting in trouble with the internet? Auntie Audrey, over to you.
How do you stay safe? 1, we are still young. Let us try and use our time to get to know our work and improve on what we don't know when it comes to our academics. The boyfriends and being sexy has its own time. Even if you have that boyfriend now, I can tell you for sure, he's a useless boy. Your husbands, you will meet them at the university or in your work area. I'm a mother myself. I met my husband when I was already in my career. All those other nonsense boys and all those other things were useless. So please, when going onto the internet, just use it for your academics. Try and get to know more information on how to improve and know what is out there. Remember, as women, we have a challenge of heavy lifting. Men, it is assumed they know everything. For us, we are the brains behind everything. We are the strategists, even in homes. So for us to be able to feature and excel in that world, in a man's world, we have to do that heavy lifting. And how do we do that? We need to know, even about cars. take the time and know how does a car work. There's a website I'd like to share with you that you can actually be visiting, how stuff works. Just go to that website, anything you can think of, how the aeroplane takes off, how a computer works, how the internet works. It is out there. You'll have graphics with images that show you when you send an email, when you send WhatsApp message, how does it get to the other person? That is how I want us to use the internet. And let's please try and stay safe. Let us not meet strangers on the internet. Even though we are inquisitive, let's ask our parents, let's ask our guardians. They will give us the direction in terms of the other things that we want to know about. Thank you.
My name is Bridget, and I attend Just Kind St. Francis Complex School. And when Madam Audrey was talking, she said it was people who helped her. So if I have the zeal, but I don't have anybody to help me, how will I do it?
Please repeat the question.
So basically, Auntie Audrey, she's saying you talked about help, getting help. If she has nobody helping her, how can she make it in the world of ICT? What would you suggest?
You have me. You have these wonderful women. For me, whenever I have the opportunity to even visit schools to talk to children about staying safe on the internet, they've even named me Madam 292. Because when you pick up any phone, be it a mobile device using MTN, Vodafone, Airtel, Tigo, you just dial 292 and you get to me. I will definitely link you up with these other ladies. I am here for you to talk about anything that is relating to keeping you as our young people safe on the internet, and to even help you and mentor you into the type of courses that you can take, the subjects that you need to take. I can tell you for sure that we need women. Today, in the cybersecurity space, there's very little skilled individuals. You can imagine the number of women in there. In my office where I sit, I lead a team of 5 gentlemen. Yes, I'm the lady there, and I show them what to do and how to do it because I was inquisitive in the right things. So please, call me on any line, 292, on any network. We'll discuss how to stay safe on the internet, who to talk to. If we have to visit your school and share material with you, websites that you can use to search the internet, because when you just type on the internet and you search for anything, there's all sorts out there. Anyone can put information on the internet. We'll have a session where we'll discuss on how to even look out for the right websites, which the material is being filtered strictly for you, and it is pictorial. We'll have nice pictures showing you and explaining things to you, even if not the websites that you go to in this big English like that. Simplified, nice colors, things that you will remember and you can share with your friends as well. So you can call me on 292 on any network.
292. Okay. And the moment the question came, our Honorable Minister for Communications put her hand up. Who wants to be able to call Auntie Ursula with their problem? Hey, you don't want to call Auntie Ursula? Hey, no, not the teachers or the students, please. So Auntie Ursula put her hand up because that's why you put your hand up. So if you have any issues, you can also call Auntie Ursula, but then she'll be talking to you later. We'll take one more question, and our 4th panelist is in. We'll ask your question, and then we'll move to our 4th panelist, and a few more questions before you get your awards. Who's excited about the awards? Hey, these my girls. Who's excited about the awards? Girls in ICT? Wonderful. Last question before we go to Auntie Patricia. Go ahead, my dear.
My name is Penny Candice, and my school name is Foundation at Brian number 2. Auntie Olivia, please, my question is, the benefit you will get when you get into the ICT, so that some of us, it will improve us and we will feel like also doing it, and so that it will help us.
Fantastic. So we want to know from Auntie Olivia. Auntie Olivia, what is the benefit of going into ICT so that the ladies can feel that, yes, they should pursue it? Wonderful question.
One answer I can give. What we're doing now technology, ICT. It all has to do with, we're doing virtual. We are in Accra, you are in OT region, and we're having a virtual meeting. So, and remember, COVID has brought about some exciting times for us all. And so it actually tells you that this is the time to be with, to engage yourself in ICT stuff. So the opportunities are many, like Auntie Audrey said, cybersecurity, they still need a lot of you out there. So please, the opportunities are vast, the advantages are many. For you, there's so much you can do with ICT. You can actually even decide to work for yourself and not work for any institution. So don't limit yourself. You have a wonderful opportunity. Take full advantage of every opportunity that's going to be given to you. It is one in a lifetime. So please don't joke with it. Take every opportunity. Take the Honorable Minister's number. Take our numbers. Get in touch. Auntie Audrey has talked about 292. Talk to anybody because you have a future when you decide to follow up in this agenda that you've taken. So please, take opportunities and make sure that you talk to people who can help you. Okay?
Thank you, Auntie Olivia. And now let's have about 5 minutes to hear from Auntie Patricia Edusei, who has joined us from Data Protection Commission, and then we'll move to the second part of the program. So Auntie Patricia, over to you, a few words of encouragement for our wonderful girls in ICT.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. I'm very glad to be here to have the opportunity to speak to you girls in ICT. I wish I had the opportunity that you're having now when I was your age. I decided to get into ICT when I was much older than you and had started working. I made the decision early to start getting into ICT, to learn how computers work, how it manages our businesses, how it manages our personal lives, and how it can act like a person when you put information in. And as you know, ICT is part of the grease of business. We say that it is the grease that goes on the wheels of business. It used to be a man's world. When I started in ICT, only men and very intelligent guys were able to do ICT. And ICT encompasses a whole lot: computer programming, website development, dealing with the data in the computer, a whole lot of areas. Auntie Audrey, I'm sure, has explained to you about the cyberspace and cybersecurity. So in doing ICT, you are opening yourself up to a new world of knowledge. And I want to encourage you girls, because ICT is a science. It's a science like somebody who's studying to be a doctor, or physics to be an engineer, or biology. All of these aspects of science is within the ICT area. It's no longer for intelligent boys. It's for girls like yourselves who want to challenge themselves to be good and to be able to help in a business area, or for yourself, as one of my colleagues said earlier, to do business. Even if you don't take it into business and you become a mother, you need to understand ICT for your family, to manage your own finances, for your home. Everything is technology now. So study it, and study it freely on all aspects of it, so that you can be able to communicate in the coming world that you belong to. You are belonging to the generation that we call the net generation. Everything is online. Everything is on the internet. So whatever you are deciding to become in your future, you need to know ICT. You need to have learned a bit of technology to be able to manage life easily. Whatever you want to use, tools, gadgets, systems at home, are all to do with ICT. I want to encourage you with my personal story, because I decided to go into ICT when it was a very challenging time. There were only boys in the school. I went in there when I was already a mother, and I got a degree in computing science, and then I got a master's as well. But it has helped me in so many avenues of my life, not just at work. I manage data as part of my work, but I also use the email to communicate to people. I also use a bit of programming knowledge to understand when technologists are speaking to me. I also manage it to look for things to buy online and also understand my movement in the cyberspace, as Auntie Audrey was talking about. When you go online as a young girl, you are exposed to a whole lot of people, some good, some bad, but until you understand technology for yourself, you will not be able to see the difference. So I'm encouraging you to learn with an open mind, without restricting yourself to a specific area, but get to understand it, because when you develop an interest in ICT, it's like a normal part of life. Every aspect of your life, when you want to communicate with people, even for your church, with your family members, you need some aspect of technology to be able to do it. And then those who want to really challenge yourself should go into programming and software engineering, because that's where I started. And then from there, you can determine which aspect of managing technology that you want to settle in. I am now in the area of managing data. The data that sits in the computers, and what is the good and bad of it, what can you do with it, what can't you do with it, what the law says is okay, what are your rights as a young girl online, or as a woman as you're growing, what is your right on the internet. You will meet a whole lot of people in chat rooms when you go online to use the tools, and you will know the rights and wrongs of what you do. When you decide to upload your photos and your pictures, your movies, Instagram, TikTok, and all of the tools you use, you'll be able to decide what is good to put on there and what is not. And whatever you put online is called data. Whether it's video or it's just messaging or your photos, you are putting data online. And my work is to teach girls like you what is good, because whatever you put online is out there and it's available for everybody, and they will use it as they wish. They will take copies of it, they will take screenshots and use it. And sometimes when you grow up and you become a big woman like our mother, Esla, who's sitting on the stage with you, people will take information that you put in the internet when you were this age and then use it against you if you didn't put good, clean data online. So make sure that whenever you are using the internet, you're thinking about yourself and your future. You have to ask yourself a key question. Will I be okay when my mother or my father sees this information online? If you won't be okay, then it means you shouldn't put it there. So that's my message to you today. Thank you.
Auntie Patricia, thank you so much. And I want only one question for Auntie Patricia. Does anybody have one question for Auntie Patricia? Yes, my dear, please come. I will give you the microphone. You ask Auntie Patricia her one question, and then we'll round up our first part.
My name is Adre Fresetlana from Kateze. My question is, apart from being the Minister of Communication and being or managing the data and being an ICT teacher, what other jobs can we get in future when we go into ICT? That's a good question.
So what other jobs? Maybe Auntie Patricia, you can give us 2 jobs that the ladies, the young ladies can explore in ICT, in the field of ICT.
That's a very excellent question. And the reason why I'm saying it's excellent is that the whole world and everything we do is moving into technology. Whether you are a seamstress or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever you become in future, you need ICT to be able to do your work properly. And if you want to be an ICT professional, you can serve all these other professions with your skill. So you can become a data manager like myself that understands the do's and don'ts of data, or you can become a programmer, or you can just become an IT instructor, teach other girls like yourself how to do ICT, or you can use technology to manage your own business. Whatever business you go into, you can put yourself online and manage the content of your website. So you can be a content manager for whatever business you are in. These are simple areas of ICT that you can easily find yourself into because you need it in whatever business you can get into. Thank you.
Can I hear it louder for our 4 aunties all the way from Accra. We had Auntie Patricia Edusei Poku, Executive Director, Data Protection Commission. Round of applause. We had Auntie Olivia Quote, Deputy Director General, Managerial Operations. A round of applause. We had Auntie Audrey Mreku from National Cybersecurity Center. A round of applause. And we had Auntie Priscilla Hope from the Kofi Annan ICT Center. Now, I want you to give the loudest girls in ICT round of applause to all of our panelists who made time to mentor us this morning. To our 4 aunties all the way in Accra, next year we will ask you to be here in person, right? We want to see them in person, correct? We'll do that next year. Thank you so much for spending time with us during this mentorship session of our Girls in ICT Day. Before you go, girls in ICT? One more, girls in ICT? Thank you so much to our panelists. Enjoy the rest of your day. You can wave them bye. Wave to this camera. Wave your aunties. This camera. Say bye. All right. Thank you so much, ladies. Really appreciate it. Now, are we ready for part 2? Are you sure you're ready for part 2? Everybody stand up for 15 seconds. Stand up, shake yourself, shake your shoulders, shake your, shake your waist, shake your shoulders, shake your shoulders. Social distancing, don't greet anybody. Stretch your hand up. Stretch it down. Girls in ICT? You may be seated. Did our high table also do it? All right, ladies, please be seated. Now we're fresh and ready for part 2. And in our part 2, we're going to start off with a wonderful gentleman. And he is in the person of the OT Regional Minister, I would say, Honorable Kwesi Owusu Yebua. And our Honorable Regional Minister will start off our second part with a welcome address. Oh, Mr. DJ. Do you know why the sound is so loud? Should I tell you why? Because it's the men who are managing it. Because the men are now my microphone. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey, gentlemen. Should we come and help you? Should the ladies help the gentlemen?
So those are live visuals coming from Nkwanto T region, and it's the Girls in ICT Day. Unfortunately, there are some technical challenges. We'll see how fast that can be resolved, so we take you back. But it's been an interesting conversation. We heard from women in ICT who are mentoring these girls, and the most exciting so far for many has been the question and answer session, where the young girls had the opportunity to ask questions of women who are already in ICT. We've been able to resolve the sound problem. Let's take you back to the OT region.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, over to you.
Dr. Regina Jampo, Director of ICT Services, University of Cape Coast, our chairwoman. Honorable Esla Owusu Ekofo, Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West and Minister of Communications. Our special guest of honor, Nana Asete Dakwa II, Paramount Queen Mother of Adele Traditional Area. The Chief Director of the Ministry of Communications, the Administrator of GFX, Honorable Abraham Kufia Sante, Regional Coordinating Director of UTI, Honorable Municipal and District Chief Executives, regional directors of the OT Regional Coordinating Council, the representative of the Regional Director of Education in OT, the Regional Girl Child Coordinator, Nananom present, District Directors of Education, District Girl Child Coordinators, distinguished invited guests, our friends from the media, participating schools and school children, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the OT Regional Coordinating Council and on my personal behalf, I welcome you all warmly to today's function, which marks the climax of the Girls in ICT program that was implemented by the Ministry of Communications in the OT region. The program is one of the flagship programs of the Ministry of Communications and is organized annually to identify and introduce young girls to the use of ICT by training them to be technologically inclined. But that matter is also intended to break the myths surrounding the use of ICT as a male-dominated field and to encourage young girls to consider venturing into the field purposely to produce more professionals for the industry. We are informed that the celebration is organized on a regional basis and that the OT program is the 9th edition. Is it 9th? The 10th edition. The International Girls in ICT Day, which is usually celebrated on the 4th Thursday of April every year, but which, on account of the COVID pandemic, has been delayed until today, is an initiative backed by all the ITU member states. And as stated earlier, aims to encourage and empower girls and young women to consider studies and careers in the growing field of ICTs, enabling both girls and technology companies to reap the benefits of greater female participation in the sector, ICT sector. At this stage, I wish to express special gratitude to the Minister of Communications for her generous decision to have the program for this year organized for our young girls in the OT region. May you join me by giving our Minister the We are grateful. The objectives of the program, as provided by organizers, are as follows. 1, to ensure that the media provides coverage on the Girls in ICT initiative before, during, and after the event. 2, to create the awareness on Girls in ICT, including key messages on the outcome of the event. 3, to publicize the outcome of the training for public consumption, that is the information after the event. And 4, to continuously educate women, that is say girls, on opportunities available in the study of ICT. We wish to place on record by way of formal acknowledgement that the entire cost of the program in the OT region was borne by the Ministry of Communications and its agencies. May you give a hand of applause for us. Generally, the Girls in ICT training program in OT was in 3 main parts. The first part consisted of training of trainers. The second part involved the trainers training and mentoring young girls, numbering about 580, who were selected from the 8 districts of the region, namely KJB, Jasikan, Biakuye, Nkwanta South, Nkwanta North, Karachi East, Karachi West, and Karachi in Chumri, as well as the 4 traditional areas of Central Kofi, Akpafo, Lulubi, and Lipe, commonly known as the Sal area. The 580 girls or so from the 8 districts and municipalities were trained from August 17th to the 28th, 2020. The third part involved a selection of 60 girls who excel in the regional competition conducted from August 31st to September 4th, 2020. The girls were trained in coding to give them an opportunity to explore the world of technology through the creation of websites, computer games, interactive arts, mobile applications and animation stories, using program languages like JavaScript, hypertext, markup language, cascading style sheets, among others. The theme for this year's celebration, and I quote, expanding horizons, change attitudes, unquote, has been appropriately chosen to confront the challenges of the girl child in ICT. The presence of the Honorable Minister of Communications and agency heads under the ministry at today's celebration attests not only to the success of the program, but also the importance that attaches to the program nationally and globally. The United Nations Women Headquarters postulated that 65% of children entering school today will have jobs that do not yet exist, because the jobs of the future will be driven by technology and innovation. It is therefore absolutely necessary to ensure that the girl child is a key player in the ICT revolution. Consequently, the 580 girls from Boti region who have received this training will stand a better chance of advancing in the acquisition of necessary skill and knowledge in ICT to enable them secure jobs in future at the technologically inclined job market. It has been observed that the girls demonstrated great interest in the program, and it is hoped that that interest will go to them on to apply themselves to further studies in the area of ICT. Once again, may I commend highly the Honorable Minister of Communications for generously providing our young girls in OT region with the opportunity not only to acquire basic skills in ICT, but also to develop interest that will sustain higher training in future. On this note, Chairwoman, Nananom, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to once again warmly welcome all of you to Nkwanta in the OT region. Nkwanta, by way of a joke, is normally referred to as the deputy capital of OT region. Thank you very much for your attention, and may the good Lord bless all of us.
Thank you very much, Honorable Regional Minister. And now, a word from our chairperson. Now, as the Director of ICT Services at University of Cape Coast, her set of responsibilities include overseeing the development of infrastructure and its technical operations, managing a team of ICT staff of the various divisions, and of course, developing, integrating, and monitoring systems in order to achieve the institutional goals, eliminating security risks, increasing user satisfaction, and maintaining operations and systems. Isn't her work a lot? Oh, she is a wonderful woman. Please welcome very warmly our chairperson for today so she can give her chairperson's response, Dr. Regina Jampo Vidoka.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister for Communication, Mrs. Esla Osu Ekofo, Honorable Regional Minister, distinguished guests, Nananom, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to accept this chairperson this morning for this climax. First of all, I would like to just say a few words. What I would like to tell the girls, the participants today, is I'm a product of Oti region and Ghana. I come from Kajabi district, a small town called Dapa Amanta. And I'm sure all of you learned a lot during these few weeks. And I think, as a woman, it's a challenge. But with God on our side, we can break through. What I'm trying to say this morning is, I don't want to take your time, but I would like to say that you can do it. You can break through. I am a living testimony. There will be challenges, but with God, like I said, you can break through. Now, I would like to say something. Please, girls, ICT may not be easy, but if Miss A has done it, Miss B can do it. This event is the culmination of an enormous collective effort which began recent years. We witnessed a significant increase in women taking ICT career seriously. However, we still have a long way to go. And only through a joint effort and with the encouragement and the support from the Minister and the Ministry of Communication, we can get there. This National Day is a transcendental role for the future of girls into ICT across Oti region and Ghana. So, ladies and Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, not wasting your time, I would like to say, as I've accepted it, sit down and see the next stage of events. So I am happy, girls, you are here. And as the mentors psych our mind towards how to become an ICT specialist and professionals, I would like to also psych your minds that ICT is not just going to school and, like the lady said, trying to serve the net, and there are bad things and there are good things. But if your mind is set up from a village like myself, where I'll go to the farm, get firewood, cook before going to school, to be where I am today is a miracle. And therefore, I will tell you that I will say one thing and I will sit down. Girls in ICT. Girls in ICT. I am here as an example for you. And as an example, going through men domineering area, both ICT and in construction, using my ICT skills into the construction industry is not easy. Two different disciplines, but you can do it. Honorable Minister, I'll sit down for now. Thank you, thank you. I'll come back later to give you a brief of what I've been through as a woman ICT professional.
Hey, girls, do you believe, my girls in ICT, do you believe? Yes. So you see what I told you is true? Or you don't remember which one I told you? I told you that the field of ICT is ready for you, and you are ready to do what? You are ready to do what? Wonderful. Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. Thank you so much for telling us a little bit of your story. And now allow me to call on Nana Asete Dakwa II, who will share a few remarks before we go into the awards. Nana Pacha, okay.
Oh, Mr. Madam Wasi. Some of mammy are konya is in Kasa. Na medanya miasi. So why you or man penny and na akufuado? Am I? So may your man penny. Yadana says so. So watch it, man tanimu. I assume they are Suyana a region. I at your honso. Senor Nintia, Candes had the BA, Yansaran Kabiwaha. Tia Danasi. So I came bound to school. Komu. Yes, the Honorable Esla Ousu Ase. So I say, Mao, baby, Mabet Mako, baby, and be my co. Yadana Sibebre. The Ongusun Kaya da on young Kosi baby. A persuade your quan Kosia we. Uncle Sun Kaya. Yambanu Suku Komu. Yambano, Yentimin Kosku Quanim. To Kaya. No boy, near Mbano. Omusku konkwa ni no mba te so no Honorable Esla Ousu na me tu mba wa no sofo sister ma computers na ye de ba mom no mom fa nkoto dam omum fa nsua ade na omusu nkwa ni te se Honorable Esla Ousu medam ase.
Nana Mpacha Yadase. And now I want you all to look to this screen or to that screen. If you're at the high table, you can look on that screen. We want to show the world the journey so far. So it's a short documentary. Take a look at the screen for a short video, the journey so far. In ICT? Okay, whilst we are waiting for our video to load, how many minutes do I have? If I can have only 1 minute before the video loads. As for technology, you have to be patient too. Okay, I want one person to tell me what they have learned so far. One person, tell me what you have learned so far. If you don't come to me, I will come to you. Okay, my dear, run, come. Let's show everybody that we're understanding what's going on. Tell me one thing that you have learned so far.
I've learned that what men can do, women can do it better.
Hey! My dear sister, my dear daughter, one more person, whilst we're waiting for the video is coming soon. One more person, come. When you get up, you run to me. That's why I wore my kambu today, so we can run around today. Come, you tell me your name. What is the one thing you have learned so far?
I learned that we have to be serious in learning.
Fantastic. One more person, how's our video doing? One more person, come, whilst we wait for our video.
I'll be preaching to the converted if I say that we know ICTs are growing at a fast pace.
What have you learned today?
I've learned that ICT is good so that we can benefit in.
Fantastic. ICT is good so we can benefit. All right, my video is ready. Okay, let's go. The journey so far.
I see a
The video is coming up in a second, I'm sure. There we go.
Woman, I see a woman every day in the mirror. I see a woman, and every time I look in mama, I see the woman.
The Ministry of Communications has kick-started the 2020 Girls in ICT GIICT celebration from the OT region, where over 560 girls are being introduced to ICT skills. The International Telecommunications Union introduced the GIICT initiative to member states, ECOSOC Resolution 2012-2024, with the aim of creating a global environment that empowers and encourages girls and young women to consider studies and careers in the growing field of information and communication technologies.
Though this initiative has been celebrated annually in Ghana since 2012 as part of the ITU activities to narrow the gender digital divide, it's been enhanced since 2018. We want to encourage and empower our girls and young women to consider studies and careers in ICTs, enabling both the girls and technology companies to reap benefits of greater female participation in the ICT sector. So it will become commonplace when we talk about leaders in ICT. We don't have to preface it by saying girls. As you may have guessed, I'm very, very passionate about this event, as it provides an opportunity for our young ladies to touch and feel ICTs, demystifies it, and encourages them to consider the future in the world of technology. I'll be preaching to the converted if I say that we know ICTs are growing at a fast pace in our ever-changing world and are indispensable for the growth and productivity of the digital economy we're adopting. Unfortunately, there's a huge skill shortfall in the ICT sector, and measures have to be put in place as a matter of urgency to ensure the promotion and adoption of ICT careers among our young people.
The resolution called for all ITU members to celebrate and commemorate International Girls in ICT Day annually on the 4th Thursday of April. Since its introduction, over 360,000 girls and women worldwide have benefited from this initiative.
Education first. So if I learn, I'm going to inspire others, because today I was a mentor, people are looking up to me. So if I'm learning, I'm going to inspire others to also do better than I do. We have ICT everywhere. I am part of ICT because what I do, I use technology.
We have the ability, but we didn't know that we had that thing in us until we were brought out to light and we were trained. Right now, I can say it that girls can do far better than boys in ICT. Most of our communities don't have the ICT like laboratories that the girls must or people go there to learn or something. So I think they should be continuing doing this thing. Because right now I never knew that there were, I never imagined that I could create my own website. But right now I'm a website developer. I can create my own website and do all those things. So all that I'm saying that the government must not stop girls in ICT. Like annually, it should be a thing with us. Like the way we do our every year Ghana's birthday, like 6th March, we should also continue doing this till the end of time.
My name is Stella Efumarini, and I'm from Reverend Gans Methodist JHS. What I want to say is that at first ICT was the worst subject I usually had in my life, but when they started this program, I could see that ICT is becoming the best subject in my life. So what I want to tell all my friends, the colleagues out there and the girls, is that they should also learn hard. They should also learn ICT, because ICT is going to help them to acquire knowledge and skills.
Ghana has been celebrating this event in different regions each year since its introduction in 2012, as part of strategies to ensure that Ghana achieves the SDG 5 goal, and supported by Ghana's ICT 4AD policy on gender balance in the training in information technology manpower, the Ministry of Communications, through its agencies, Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications, NCA, and the Kofi Annan ICT Center of Excellence, has been expanding the reach of the GIICT event.
Implementation of the IT Girls in ICT. Girls in IT was instituted by the International Telecom Union, and we as members of the International Telecom Union have taken it as an annual event to train girls in the area of ICT and specifically in coding, to sharpen their skills in coding. The objective is that coding is an aspect of the digital capacity which, when given to kids, sharpens their IQ, and it also makes them more organized. It provides avenues for them to be problem solvers. And therefore, the Ministry of Communication, working through the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communication, is organizing this year's Girls in ICT in the OT region.
As a result, in 2019, the program was celebrated in the central and western regions. For 2020, the ministry had originally planned on celebrating the event in 3 regions, but the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic made it difficult for that goal to be achieved. The rollout for this year has started in August in the OT region. On 24th August 2020, representatives from the Ministry of Communications and Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications joined the girls in the OT region, and some of the centers they visited in the Nkwanta South Municipal, Nkwanta South SHS Technical, and OT SHS Technical in the Karachi East Municipal.
I've learned so many things from ICT training. I've learned how to use the mouse. I've learned how to use the mouse and do so many things on the laptop. And I've also learned how to take a photo. And I've also understand the meaning of a computer. Let me see the light. First of all, I would like to thank the defense for giving us such an opportunity to come and learn and know more about ICT. First of all, I will thank the Education Office for giving us such an opportunity. And I will thank His Excellency, the President of Ghana. We thank him so much for giving us such an opportunity to know and learn more about ICT.
At the various centers, the administrator of Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications, Mr. Abraham Kofi Asante, encouraged the girls to apply themselves to the training and to practice whatever they learn when they return to their homes.
You understand that? Exhibit them. And as you exhibit them, it builds your confidence. It builds you up. And I can tell you the sky will not be your limit. Beyond the sky, you can even go.
The participating girls were selected from schools in the Jasikan, KJB, Biakoye, Nkwanta North, Nkwanta South, and Karachi districts, as well as the Seoul communities. During the trainings, the girls are introduced to Scratch applications and some basic structures of programming applications. Thereafter, all the girls participate in a competition where they are expected to utilize the knowledge they have received during the trainings to design websites, games, coding, and simple applications. The program involves the following phases: the training of the trainers who will train the girls, the training of over 500 girls from districts within a selected region, a mentorship session where women currently practicing in the ICT field have the opportunity to share their personal life journeys with the young girls as a means of encouraging and guiding them in their future career choices, and the grand climax where prizes will be awarded to excellent pupils and the schools they represent. part of the motivation package, prizes such as laptops, modems, etc. are awarded to girls who excel in the competition. In addition, ICT labs are set up in schools whose girls performed very well in the competition.
We are also giving them cyber laboratories in the various JHS and SHS schools. And so far, we have covered about 1,500 JHS schools with cyber laboratory. In addition to that, we are giving them skills in coding. So children are given coding, and here we do it by train the trainer. We have trained about 150 teachers who are also training other teachers, and they form coding class in the schools. And as of now, our records show that we've been able to provide coding for kids for about 6,500 students.
When we went to the program, I really experienced a lot. It was not too much difficult. It was fantastic. We really enjoyed ourselves. I can create a website of my own, and I can also create a game of my own, which I've done right now. I've created a hide and seek. I want to tell anyone listening to me right now that when they get this opportunity, they shouldn't really take it for granted, because it will help them very, very much.
The Minister for Communications, Mrs. Esla Owusu-Ekufo, will be participating in the mentorship and climate sessions of the event scheduled to take place on Monday, 14th September 2020.
Look at mama, I see the woman, a wonderful woman, an African woman, mother of nature.
All right, so that's the journey thus far. Girls in ICT. I need more energy because we're going to hear from our Minister for Communications. Girls in ICT. And I'm going to ask you to rise and give a resounding round of applause. A resounding round of applause. A resounding round of applause as I welcome to the podium the Honorable Minister for Communications, Mrs. Esla Owusu-Ekufo. A resounding round of applause. Girls in ICT.
Madam Chairperson, Dr. Regina Jampo Vidoga, I didn't know you were from the OT region. So this has been a very, very wonderful coincidence. And before I continue, she was just like you. And she's now the Director of ICT Services at the Cape Coast University. Right from, what's the name of your? Right from KJB district. And this is where she is now. Isn't it wonderful what ICTs can do? Our special guest of honor, Nana Aseti Dakwa II, the paramount queen mother of the Adelaide traditional area. Honorable Kwesi Owusu-Yeboah, the OT Regional Minister, Municipal and District Chief Executives, and I see the MPP PC parliamentary candidate for Nkwanta South here, Madam Sherifa Setre Tijani, the Chief Director and Directors of the Ministry of Communications, the Administrator and Mr. Abraham Kofi Asante, and staff of the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications, GIFIC, the Regional and Metro Directors of Ghana Education Service, and the Girl Child Coordinators, Nananom who are here present. Girls in ICT, and your teachers from the selected schools, our media colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a real honor and privilege to have you all join us this morning to celebrate the climax of the OT region Girls in ICT in the Deputy Regional Capital. in Kwanta South Municipal Assembly. And it demonstrates your commitment and support for this all-important initiative. We didn't even think it could happen this year because the original date for the event was in April, when we were at the height of the pandemic, and I believe even in the lockdown. And we didn't know how we could organize the training and even the climax event, even after we did the training, was a challenge. In actual fact, they told me that I would also join you virtually from Accra. And I said, no way, I'm coming to Nkwanta for this event. I'm glad that through the magic of technology, we have done it again this year with some modifications. We had to combine the climax and mentorship event and have just interacted with our mentors who are female achievers in the ICT sector all the way from Accra. And I hope they succeeded in motivating you to consider a career in ICT. We believe that this mentorship event will whip up your interest to pursue courses in the ICT fields and ultimately decide to choose careers in this industry. Today, everyone needs digital technology for whatever work they are doing. And you will always have a job if you have the right skills for the new world of work that is rapidly unfolding before us, if you have the digital skills. Madam Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, the ICT sector is the fastest growing sector globally. It permeates every area of our economy and touches every aspect of human life. It is clear that we cannot live without our gadgets, whether they are smartphones, tablets, or computers, and they are indispensable. Several forms of public and private services are being digitized, and we are living witnesses to the transformation technology is wreaking in our societies today. Look at how we just did the mentorship event with our mentors. The demand for IT skills is increasing rapidly, and the sector has become the leading employment sector. Interestingly, we also have a huge skills gap in this area. There are not enough trained personnel to man all the openings, the job openings in this sector. And so that is a call to action for us to put in place the measures that will promote the interest and pursuit of ICT-related careers amongst our youth. Next month, we are launching the free Wi-Fi for senior high schools project, even though our schools have been shut down. We are preparing for tomorrow today. It is important that we extend connectivity to every part of this country. And so we're also going to implement the Enhanced Rural Telephony Project, which will bring networks to all the areas in this part of the country and the other unserved and underserved areas in this country where none exist today or where the network is poor. I know that we have a problem here because the last time I was here, that was one of the major requests that the community, the chiefs and elders, the minister, the DCs, all those that I interacted with put before us. So I'm happy to tell you that we are working on it, and next month we're starting. We can't achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030 if girls and women are left behind in the development agenda. Again, we cannot eradicate poverty if issues of inclusion, female inclusion, are not addressed, bearing in mind that the huge informal sector of economy, which is about 70%, is dominated by women. It is for this reason, amongst others, And that makes it crucial that we adopt a strategic and systematic approach to encourage more girls and women to acquire digital skills and to take up leadership roles in the industry. It's a shared responsibility. We must expand the horizon and change our attitudes to ensure that this digital gender divide is bridged as fast as possible. As we've already been told, the Girls in ICT initiative is a global one instituted by the ITU, and we've been celebrating this since 2012. However, since 2018, we've enhanced it with a few other initiatives which I'll talk about later. The celebration of this Girls in ICT is to let all of you know that it is not just for boys and men. Technology is not just for boys and men. You too can do it if you put your mind to it. It isn't rocket science. It isn't. Did you find the training difficult? Were you able to learn all the wonderful things? And several of you, about 60 of you, excelled in the regional competitions. So you see, like the three people will say, "Enye husa anambwa, enye hukra," and if anyone at all can do it, and you've seen our mentors here who have done wonderful things, different things, some that you didn't even know about in technology. We've tried to send the celebration across the country on a regional basis to reach as many girls everywhere as possible and to give a fair opportunity to the youth and to sensitize society itself on the need to encourage our girls to pursue technology-related careers. Greater Accra, Volta, Eastern, Northern, Brong-Ahafo, Ashanti, Western, and Central regions have had their turn. Now, this was done before the new regions were created. And so, I know that the Volta region was one of the first to have the Girls in ICT celebration. Unfortunately, no child from this part of the region then was part of the celebration. That's why I'm happy that now that we have the OT region, you have your own Girls in ICT celebration. 584 young girls coming all over from KJB, Jansikan, Biakuye, Nkwanta South, Nkwanta North, Karachi East, Karachi West, Karachi in Chumuru have been part of this program. And 60 excelled. Well done. Girls, 60 girls from Hohoi in the Volta region were also added to this group due to its closeness to the OT region. And this initiative has cumulatively trained about 6,604 girls in basic computer literacy skills, coding, HTML, and CSS. Madam Chair, we cannot leave any Ghanaian child behind, and we must strive to give every child, male and female, the opportunity to succeed in life. When it comes to technology, the thinking is that it is not really a girl's thing, alright? We are here to tell the world that it is a girl's thing. That is why we have made it a biannual celebration instead of the training which used to be held only once a year. Now we're having it twice a year. We have also reviewed the training modules to include coding, a mentorship workshop for all participating girls, and an open day experience where the best performing girls spend a week in Accra with women working in technology-related disciplines. One of you asked, what job you can do with technology, apart from the teaching and lecturing and data and cybersecurity. There is plenty. Every job, every office needs an IT professional, somebody who knows something about ICT to help them do everything they do, from accounting to law to medicine to teaching, anything, you name it, you need ICT. So please, like I said, take your studies seriously and you will never lack a job. Now, the objective of the mentorship and the open day is to introduce you young girls to basic programming skills to improve your critical thinking and creative skills, and to also demonstrate the practical applications of these skills in a live working environment to develop your career interest in everything digital. Coding forms the basics of everything we do in today's digital world, and giving these girls such an opportunity will enable them to make informed career decisions and give them an advantage in future. I was very impressed with the report I received from the delegation who visited some of the districts during the coding lessons for the girls, to see these girls performing brilliantly just after a few days of being introduced to coding. Some of them had never even seen a computer before. Today, you are building your own websites. The enthusiasm with which the girls adjusted to the new learning concept of CSS, HTML, and I don't know about that, so you have to come and teach me, among others, was encouraging. Now I'll urge GIFEC and the teachers they have trained to establish coding clubs in all participating schools in the OT region to sustain the interest of these girls and introduce their classmates and schoolmates who were not part of this exciting adventure in Girls in ICT to coding. As we introduce the can-do spirit to these girls, and you've heard it, there is nothing you cannot do if you put your mind to it. So you can do it. It is not impossible. Just dream it, think it, believe it, work hard at it, seek help. And I've told you I'm always available to assist you. Find out how, and you just get on with it. It's important also to have real-life experiences of female achievers working within the technology space. So I'm glad you've seen your own chairperson, Dr. Regina Jampo, who is from one of the villages in the KJB district and has risen to this level. So there's nothing you cannot do if you work hard. Please believe it. It is possible. We believe that the mentorship is an effective way of changing your attitudes and whipping up your interest in ICT. All the girls would have the opportunity to interact with female achievers in various ICT fields while they share their career experiences with them. As I indicated, during the Open Day event, the best performing girls are brought to Accra to spend a day each in various companies with women working with technology at their workplace to experience the variety of career choices available for those with digital skills. We are grateful to the American Towers Company, NCA, the National Communications Authority, the National Information Technology Agency, Accra Digital Center, GIFEC, Cybersecurity Center, MTN, Airtel Tigo, and Vodafone for supporting the Open Day event since its introduction 2 years ago as a component of this initiative. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we were unable to hold the Open Day event for the best 100 girls who excelled in the inter-district competition in the Central Region this year. We hope to do so for both that batch, the Central Region batch, and the 60 best performing girls from the OT region very soon, once we get over the coronavirus pandemic. I believe that an experience at the workplace makes careers in the industry real to you, and it is an effective way of letting you know that it is possible for you to also be like the women you will see working in ICT in the various places. And it will give you the needed confidence to aspire to greater heights as you interact with female ICT professionals at the workplace to influence and shape your future career choices within this exciting field. Madam Chairperson, and now this is the interesting part, ladies and gentlemen, to sustain your interest and the interest of all the participating girls, all the 60 best girls emerging from this training will be given their own laptops.